Her face is the most famous in ancient history, yet her body has vanished for over 3,000 years. Today you'll discover why archaeologists believe Nefertiti's tomb is hidden just meters from Tutankhamun, and what scanners detected behind a wall that shouldn't exist. In 1912, deep in the Egyptian desert, at a place called Amarna, a German archaeologist named Ludwig Borchardt uncovered a workshop buried under centuries of sand. Inside, wrapped in cloth and forgotten by time, lay a painted limestone bust so perfect it seemed to breathe. The high cheekbones, the elegant neck, the gaze that pierced 33 centuries of silence. It was the face of Nefertiti, the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten, and arguably the most beautiful queen Egypt ever produced. But here lies the strangest paradox in all of Egyptology. We have her face. We have her name carved into temple walls from Karnak to Nubia. We have her image worshipped in museums across the world, and yet we have never found her tomb. We have never found her body. For more than 100 years, archaeologists, treasure hunters, and physicists have asked the same haunting question: where is Nefertiti buried? And why has Egypt's most iconic queen become its greatest missing person? To understand the mystery, we must travel back to the 14th century before Christ, to a moment when Egypt was tearing itself apart. Around 1353 BCE, Nefertiti married Amenhotep IV, a pharaoh who would soon change his name to Akhenaten and launch the most radical religious revolution in ancient history. Together they abandoned the old gods. They closed the temples of Amun. They built a brand new capital from nothing in the desert, a city called Akheten, today known as Amarna. And Nefertiti was not a silent consort. Carvings show her smiting enemies, a role traditionally reserved for kings. She wore the blue war crown. She offered sacrifices alongside her husband. Some scholars now believe she ruled as co-pharaoh under the name Neferneferuaten, and possibly even as the mysterious pharaoh Smenkhkare after Akhenaten's death. If that theory is correct, Nefertiti was not just a queen, she was the woman who held the throne of Egypt during one of its darkest hours. Then, around 1336 BCE, she vanishes from the historical record. No funeral inscription, no mourning text, no clear burial chamber. The royal tomb at Amarna, carved into a remote desert cliff, contains fragments suggesting her daughter Mekhetaten was buried there. But Nefertiti's chamber, the one prepared for her, was found empty, smashed, looted in antiquity perhaps, or never used at all. When Akhenaten died, his successors dismantled everything he built. The city of Amarna was abandoned. The names of the heretic royal family were chiseled off monuments, and somewhere in that chaos, the body of the most famous queen of Egypt was moved, hidden, or destroyed. The question is which? For decades, the search focused on the Valley of the Kings, the royal cemetery near Luxor where later pharaohs were buried. In 1898, archaeologists opened a small side chamber in tomb KV35 and discovered 3 unidentified mummies, including a woman known only as the Younger Lady. In 2010, DNA testing led by Egyptologist Zahi Hawass announced that this woman was the biological mother of Tutankhamun. And because most scholars believe Tutankhamun was the son of Akhenaten, many newspapers screamed the headline, "Nefertiti found." But the celebration was premature. The DNA only proved a family relationship. It never confirmed identity. Other Egyptologists, including Marc Gabolda of the University of Montpellier, argue the Younger Lady is not Nefertiti at all, but one of Akhenaten's sisters. The face, badly damaged by ancient looters, refuses to give a final answer. Then came 2015, and with it, one of the most explosive theories in modern archaeology. A British Egyptologist named Nicholas Reeves studied high-resolution scans of the walls inside Tutankhamun's tomb, the famous KV62 discovered by Howard Carter in 1922. And Reeves saw something that made him freeze. Hidden beneath the painted plaster, he detected what appeared to be the outlines of 2 sealed doorways, 2 chambers nobody had ever opened. Reeves proposed a stunning idea. Tutankhamun, the boy king, died unexpectedly at the age of 18 or 19. His tomb is surprisingly small for a pharaoh, almost as if it were never meant for him. What if, Reeves asked, Tutankhamun was buried in a rush, inside the outer chambers of a much larger, already existing tomb? What if the real owner of that tomb, the one whose burial chamber lies sealed behind the painted wall, was Nefertiti herself? The theory was electrifying. the Egyptian government authorized radar scans. In 2016, a Japanese team led by Hirokatsu Watanabe reported strong evidence of hidden cavities. But a second scan by National Geographic in 2018 found nothing. A third scan, conducted by an Italian team in 2020 using more advanced ground-penetrating radar, reignited the debate by detecting what appeared to be a corridor-shaped void just meters from Tutankhamun's burial chamber, parallel to the known walls, exactly where Reeves predicted. The Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities remains cautious. Drilling into the walls of the most famous tomb in the world is not a decision made lightly. One wrong cut, and irreplaceable paintings are destroyed forever. But other scholars insist the search is pointing the wrong direction. Aidan Dodson, a respected British Egyptologist, argues that Nefertiti was buried in the royal tomb at Amarna, and her remains were either destroyed by religious enemies or scattered by tomb robbers within a generation of her death. Joanne Fletcher famously claimed in 2003 that a mummy known as the Elder Lady, also found in KV-35, was Nefertiti, identified by a distinctive double-pierced ear and a shaved head consistent with royal portraiture. Her theory was rejected by most of her colleagues, but it has never been completely disproven. The Elder Lady remains an unresolved candidate. 3 mummies, 3 theories, and no confirmed answer. Why does it matter? Because finding Nefertiti would do more than identify a body. It would rewrite the final chapter of the Amarna period. It could prove that a woman ruled Egypt as pharaoh during one of its most turbulent transitions. It could explain how Tutankhamun came to the throne and why his reign was so brief. It could finally close the case on the most charismatic royal family in ancient history. And somewhere, perhaps behind a painted wall in the Valley of the Kings, or in a forgotten chamber beneath the sands of Amarna, the answer is waiting. The bust in Berlin stares out at millions of visitors every year, silent and serene, holding a secret that has outlasted empires. The queen with the beautiful face is still hiding. And one day, when someone finally pushes through that last sealed wall, the world will hear her name spoken for the first time in 3,000 years. If this mystery gripped you, subscribe to Mysteries of History and ring the bell. We unlock the secrets time tried to bury, one episode at a time. Tell us in the comments which theory you believe, and stay tuned, because the next mystery is even darker.